What is going on, everybody? The boys are back in town. Flight Zone Monday night, A2D Radio. Hit that like, comment throughout the show, subscribe to the channel. We got shows left and right here on A2D Radio. 1098 76ers.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like oh, this game can heat stink!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
What is going on, everybody? Just give us a warm welcome back to A2D Radio. I know we went on a little hiatus, but we are back and better than ever. Tonight we have Jimmy joining us. Before we came on to A2D Radio, we had Jimmy on the Flight Zone when Evan and I first started this little podcast that we've been doing. So warm welcome to Jimmy. Great basketball
Thanks for
mind.
having me, man. Appreciate it.
Always, Jimmy. Tonight, obviously, show brought to you by FanUp. Best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests. Now that the NFL is over, obviously, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today using that promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points and a $50 value. FanUp.app. Sixers with a huge win tonight, so we will get into that. We'll get into the analysis of how we just continue to own the Bulls. They didn't have Vucevic tonight. Vucevic comes up on a hammy. We don't know how legit that was. I just don't think he wanted to play Joel Embiid tonight.
No.
And even if Vucevic was on the floor, I think Joel would have had 10 extra points and put up a 50 burger. So we'll get into that tonight. And this leads us right into the poll, because the poll is kind of what happened in Miami a couple days ago. And that was without James Harden. And without James Harden, this team is obviously different. We've all been looking at the contenders in the East between the Bucks, the Nets, the Celtics, Sixers, Bulls, Cavs. Obviously, the Sixers have probably one of the best starting lineups, probably one of the best big threes in the East. But this bench could be the downfall, and this leads us right into the poll for tonight. Poll brought to you by Araya Public Adjustments. A new sponsor that we have on the show for A2D. Do you have damage to your home or property? We may be able to help. Don't fight your homeowner's insurance alone. Contact Araya Public Adjusting at 813-564-3364. And they are licensed in Florida, Pennsylvania, and 13 other states. So make sure you check them out today. And the poll for tonight: the Sixers bench could cost them a playoff series. Now, usually I'm not the Debbie Downer on this show. It's the man to the right of me. But just the lack of guard depth that we have between we have Tyrese Maxey, James Harden. After that, I do not think Isaiah Joe will get it done. I do not think Furkan Korkmaz will get it done. I don't think Shake Milton will get it done. And if they get extensive minutes in these playoff series, they've shown what they can do in the past, and that's why we've lost second-round series year in and year out. Now, we can blame Ben Simmons all we want from last year. The bench was a big part of it. Doc Rivers' rotation was a big part of it. So I just thought it would be an interesting little conversation to have tonight. But obviously, they had a huge win tonight. But Georges Niang is the only bench player that contributes from tonight. So I just wanted to get our thoughts for what we think to the poll tonight. Jimmy, I'll start with you just because you're coming back on, and then Evan, I'll give you a go.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, to start off with the game, I mean, I was looking at halftime stats. Even though we were up against Chicago, they out-rebounded us 27-15. And I remember there was one play where Tobias Harris had his back to the ball, and easy lays, easy dunks. And I was looking at my dad while I was watching the game, and I'm like, shoo, like we need to box out or something, because if we play a more contendable team, that's not going to fly. Those leads are going to demolish. And I'm not saying Chicago is not a bad team. they're a decent upcoming team. I don't see them making it far in the playoffs, but overall, that type of effort on the defensive end and offensive end of rebounds, I think we need to do a lot better job of. Even though Maxey and Harden didn't get their 20 plus, they held their own. We're going to have days like that where they're not going to be getting over 20, and those are the days where Embiid has to ball out. And as you see, 43 points. He produced very, very good time. When it comes to the bench, really the only one that stands out to me is Georges Yang. And I was at the game the other night against who we play? We played the Cavs. When he got in the game, he was lighting it up. And I'm like, give this guy Korkmaz his minutes, because Korkmaz can't produce anything. And Yang made up for it. I mean, 14 points, 19 minutes. That's some solid minutes to have. And back to your point. I don't think our bench is that high. I mean, I like the acquirement of DeAndre Jordan, and again, that I don't really think it upgrades from Drummond, but it'll do the job. Of course, we need a big body in there for Embiid if he ever gets hurt. Like today, he rolled his ankle, kept playing because he's that type of guy. And no, once we get DeAndre Jordan rolling, I mean, we'll see where this team can go. And I mean, that's really all I have. I mean, it was a great game. Nothing really stood out to me that was, something insane. I mean, Tobias, 8 points. I mean, he's not really a star-worthy player, or I don't think a starter. I think maybe Yang could probably get into a couple of his minutes overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
add him in there a little bit.
And that's what we're all trying to say now. All of the diehard Sixer fans are saying cut Tobias's minutes. Don't let Tobias start anymore. Throw Niang in there, make Tobias a bench scorer. But hey, it's a good point. It's a good thing to maybe mess around with. I mean, you don't have a bench to begin with. Tobias is a more dynamic scorer than Georgie's, so maybe it could happen. But the thought of having a $35 million guy come off your bench is just—it's crazy to think about. But
yeah.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I agree. Both Jimmys. I agree with both you guys, Jimmy 1 and Jimmy 2. I think it's abysmal what Tobias Harris is doing. It's disgusting, and people in the A2D chat have disrespected me and called me an overreactor. But I ain't overreacting. See, I'm usually right when it comes to stuff like this. I knew Tobias. Everyone's telling me, "Oh, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine." All right. Well, tell me that when Tobias Harris is the next 13th reason, we could say, behind almost like the Benson. He's going to be the scapegoat this year. You already know he's going to be the scapegoat if we don't make it. It's going to be Tobias Harris. And Jimmy Rodweller, I do agree with you. Our depth with our guards is not that great. Isaiah Joe, he is what he is. He's barely getting minutes. Furkan Korkmaz, my boy, he's in a little bit of a slump.
A little bit of a slump. He's a shooter, and he's shooting 28% from three.
I know. It's abysmal. But
I'm taking my boy Jimmy M over Furkan Korkmaz right now.
Yeah,
stick me in the corner, man. Appreciate it.
It's terrible, but I mean, am I worried for the playoffs? Not so much, because you do have Joel Embiid. He's the most dominant big man in the league as of right now. God forbid gets hurt, we're done. But he was flopping all over the floor today. It was kind of scary to see, actually.
That's his one downfall. He flops out of water.
He flops all the time.
Fish out of water.
And it's not even like flopping to try and draw a foul. It's just
No.
like over exaggerating what he's trying to do.
It's him and
a fish out of water.
Him do that. They are kings at that. Just drawing fouls over and over. Like when I went to the game the other day, I don't know how many times Harden just goes up, just goes into the defender and just gets the foul. It's crazy to see, even with threes too. They're great at doing that. Like the best in the league, definitely.
And to say, I think I have the most confidence in Shake Milton out of all the guys in that little rotation, like over Korkmaz, over Isaiah Joe.
Yeah,
I think I'll take Shake on it, is because he's just so much of a versatile scorer. He can go in and get you buckets going down the lane, all that. He's not a bad 3-point shooter. He's just very streaky. But Georges Niang, I think you need to have him off your bench just as a spark, because you know what you got when Harris is on the court from him. He's more of just that.
He's just there.
Just that guy in the corner that like can kind of be scary, but like kind of just leave him open, let him shoot guy. But if you have Niang out there, I don't think he does as well, because I think that Harden and Niang together without Joe clogging the paint, I think that just works perfect. And I like that game right there when Embiid is off the court. That Harden, I mean Maxi's still out there. Maxi's doing great. Maxi's doing absolutely insane.
Oh yeah, he had 4 points going into the fourth quarter tonight. He ended with 17.
Yeah, he closed pretty well.
13 points. 13 points in the fourth quarter, and you win by 15. That's a closer right there. That's what we've been asking for the past 2 years.
That's just crunch time. Like when you need someone to step up, they step up, and he gets into that role every time. He hasn't really showed me any second year mistakes yet. He's maturing a lot, like a lot, especially with Harden right next to him. It's looking great.
Yeah, there hasn't been a agree in the chat yet, and I'm gonna have to disagree just for the sole fact that I've seen this story before. I've seen Doc have super teams. I've seen Doc have lineups with 5 legit guys, and I've seen him choke away playoff series because of horrible timeout management, horrible lineup management, horrible rotation management. I'm sorry. Like, I've seen all this happen with Doc Rivers. Mm-hmm. I've seen the Sixers in general just choke away leads because of horrible bench production. Like, Evan, you and I were begging maybe a month ago, this time in February last year, we were begging for bench help. Mm-hmm. And everybody was saying, oh, we're good. And guess what happened? We lose to Atlanta, Game 7, second round, because of hard bench play, because of Ben Simmons, because of Doc Rivers and his playoff rotation. I'm not going to be able to agree to this until I see them overcome their flaws. And it's just that simple. And when it comes to Tobias Harris, he's doing cardio out there with the starting 5. Yeah. He really is. And I know it's only 5.
He should start counting his steps, honestly, because
dude, put a Fitbit on him. Put a Fitbit on him. Let's see how many steps by the end of the night.
What does Danny Green do defensively? Please tell me what Danny Green does. He's a liability. All you do is stick him in the corner, and he just hits those threes. He's either on or he's off. Yeah. You know what I mean? He doesn't bring anything to the table.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I would consider making Tobias your 6th man. I would consider putting Danny Green in the lineup or Georges Niang in the lineup and have Danny and Tobias come off your bench as your 1-2. And then you could keep Harden out there once the minute comes up and the bench comes in. So then the lineup would look like James Harden, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, DeAndre Jordan, and who am I missing? Just one other filling guy.
Right? Thibault?
I mean, it would be Thibault, because I'm hoping that Doc only plays 8, maybe 9 come playoff time. Yeah, but once that minute comes up in the first quarter and you have James Harden trying to create with Georgie's in the corner, Tobias as your slasher, with Matisse out there for athleticism, and then you have DeAndre Jordan, I think that could be a viable bench lineup right there.
Yeah. That's not
but when it comes to the starting lineup, Tobias is only doing cardio out there. Like, he has no role. He has no role in the starting lineup right now, because you have James Harden, who's the creator. You have Tyrese Maxey, who's that off-ball guard that's also creating but also shooting. He's shooting over 40% from 3. You obviously have the MVP of the league that can do everything on every level. Matisse is your slasher. What is Tobias supposed to do? The only thing you're missing in this lineup is a pure shooter, whether that's Danny Green or Georges Niang.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see what happens there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think it's funny how Yang only had I think he had 18 minutes today, and he scored 14 points. And you got Tobias Harris getting 28 minutes and only getting like 8 points. It's just, it's adding up. Who are you going to rely more on at the end of the game? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really my take on it.
I just feel like
Sorry,
Oh,
I just
I just
real
feel
quick.
like that Niang just brings that. He brings good energy too. Whereas Harris, Harris can't buy a bucket in the fourth. He just can't. He had
Well,
that nice little dunk. That was probably his career highlights or his highlights of this year. Like he hasn't done anything since before the trade deadline. And even before that, I know he's averaging like 19 or 17 points a game. That's all good in the regular season, but he needs to actually step up because he's going to have those wide open shots once Embiid's being doubled and Harden's in the corner. He's going to be wide open from three. If he doesn't shoot that and make that, you're gonna have to reevaluate this offseason with him because it could be anybody else out there.
oh yeah, I would
But it really
be
can
more
be.
than willing to do a sign and trade with some veteran that's on the downfall. Give that veteran
Yeah.
$30 million. I don't care. I don't care at this
You
point.
taking Blake?
I totally
You taking
agree.
Blake?
All right, maybe not Blake.
Blake Griffin getting like the whole Nets team on us.
Yeah.
Maybe not Blake. But although maybe if you sign JJ in the offseason, re-sign DeAndre, bring Blake, you got Lob City 2.0 with Doc.
That would be nice.
I
I did see some interest of JJ wanting to come back, but
Dude.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Dude,
I don't know.
JJ could
I didn't like
be
how
that
his
one
career
piece.
ended. I did not like how his career ended
No,
at all.
Me
That's
neither.
kind of.
I mean, that game,
might as well just bring back Marco Bellinelli too. Like, come on.
that game that he commentated the other day, he seemed like he was genuinely interested. But I feel like, I don't know. Maybe towards the end of March, maybe he'll consider coming back. And then his only comment was, "Oh, I'm not in game shape right now." I feel like somebody that doesn't want to come back, that's not the answer they should do. I feel like that's the answer of a guy that actually wants to come back.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
and he always talks so highly on the fans. He's
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
like out of all the teams I played with, Philly was my favorite. And fans
Yeah.
were into it. Fans were into it. So yeah, I don't know.
He reminds me of Curry. What Curry was like. Curry. It's gonna be weird playing against Curry. Like he was a great player for our team, and I had nothing but respect for him. But it's just similar, like how that ended.
Yeah. Daily from Hockey Happy Hour every Tuesday night. They do a great job. Him and the boys, Pove, Maddie. He's asking, how does Danny Green lacerate a finger while he's playing basketball? Well, Jimmy, you play on the college level,
Yeah.
so how does one lacerate his finger playing basketball?
The only thing I could think of, and
Bone.
I played the JUCO level, so it's a dogfight out there. Lacerating a finger, I've never really heard of that, but
Like his finger legitimately almost fell off playing basketball. I mean, it got caught up.
Yeah,
It got caught up weird. I think it got caught up in the jersey, and his damn near finger almost fell ooff.
the only thing I could think of is probably like a jammed finger from a basketball pass. I actually didn't really know that he lacerated his finger, but usually when you jam your finger, it's usually a pass you don't catch. You hit your finger on it, but no, lacerating a finger—that's the first time.
Maybe
I
it
heard
was
that.
like a fingernail or something, or hopefully it wasn't like a.
Well, there was blood everywhere.
Yeah,
I think it got
I
caught
hope
in
the
a jersey.
bone was the bone sticking out or something like.
Nah,
I can't.
because he went back to the bench. Because I know after Maxey had that N1 at the end in the fourth quarter, he saw Danny and he was like surprised, and Maxey was like looking at his hand, and like before it went to a commercial break, like Maxey like looked over and then it went to the commercial break.
I think he may have like hit it weird and another nail maybe dug into his finger.
But I'm gonna be real. I mute the volume when I watch the Sixers now.
That's just really odd. I've never seen a lacerated finger on a basketball court. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the first.
But
Jimmy loves Kate Scott.
Yeah, I love me some Kate Scott, but I have to
Oh man, I
every once in a
cannot
while.
stand her. I can't stand her.
She's literally Doris Burke.
No, the one thing she tries her best. That's what counts. But sometimes I just got to mute the channel. So I
give her
didn't
some
get to hear
slack.
the sideline report.
If if we're on national TV, I'm watching ESPN. I like when Tom McGinnis was commentating. That was good.
Yeah,
I would rather
he's
have
much better fit for TV than
Tom
radio.
McGinnis
I
is
said
like
it a million times. I don't know whether he's for the Sixers or against the Sixers on radio.
Well, the one thing that makes Tom McGinnis great is that he can do a play-by-play and color commentator at the same exact time.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Ryan Swope joins in. Thanks for the comment, Ryan. What an amazing defense tonight. The only issue was allowing second chance points, which Jimmy pointed out in the opening of the show. On missed jump shots to the Bulls for easy close to the basket layups and dunks. Also, the Sixers, when shooting threes, stand around looking. They need to attack the basket in case of missed shots and get rebounds. Stop standing around, attack the basket. Yeah, I feel like that effort's going to come once the playoffs start, Ryan. I mean, we're still only talking about a Monday night basketball game in March. I'm still a strong believer in the fact that the NBA season doesn't start until the first round in the NBA playoffs. The regular season is a bunch of horse shit to me. And the sole reason for that is what happened to the Sixers last year with the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
That officially like made me lose all conscious hope of the NBA regular season. So
That's fair.
You know, Ryan, that's a good point. That's what I was pointing out earlier. It's the effort. You know, when crunch time comes and playoff time comes, needs to be a better effort out there. Like, you know, you could win and be satisfied, and you can win and not be satisfied. I'm not going to say I was satisfied tonight, but they could have seen a better game. But overall, it wasn't bad.
Yep. Now, who's their next game? Is that on Thursday or?
yeah, Thursday. They're off until Thursday.
Is it Brooklyn? Brooklyn,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Thursday the 10th is when Brooklyn comes to town.
I wasn't sure if they had a game on Wednesday or something.
Yep.
I'm
According to
excited.
Shams Charania, Ben Simmons will not be attending. Well, playing will be on the bench. So
You scared
We
me
will-
for a second, man. You scared me. I thought you said he wasn't attending, and I was about to say, okay, I'm selling these tickets ASAP.
they better boo the hell out of him. That's all I got.
Oh, we will. We will.
I want to go to that game, man.
We will.
Taro Cabot, I'd blame Doc if we lose and there's bad bench play. Shouldn't be more than two bench guys playing at the same time. I mean,
We had a really bad lineup out there at one point. I think it was like Niang, Isaiah Joe, DeAndre Jordan. Who the hell else was it? I think it was Thibault and Maxey or something like that. It's just the hockey lineup.
And you know, with that lineup, there was a play where literally Yang was wide open for a three. He hesitated, and you'd see he tried to pass to DeAndre.
Yeah, to DeAndre.
You got to shoot
yep.
that. When you're hot like that, you got to shoot that. Just let it
Yeah.
grip.
oh yeah, that was horrible. I can't believe he passed that ball.
I was like, wow, dude. Like, why did you not shoot that?
Yeah.
I don't know what he was looking at, but
I trust him. I trust him more than Harris in the fourth any day.
yeah, no. Where did Yang come from? Did he come from Utah?
Jazz.
Or
Yeah.
the Jazz, right? Yeah, that's who it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. Good couple
Mhm.
minutes that I've been seeing. He doesn't look like the athletic type, but he can sure get in with the big bodies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah. Harden was 5 for 15 today.
It's all right. He still had 14 assists.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
You know what it looks like to me? That looked like a Ben Simmons
Oh my god.
stat line.
I
dude.
knew,
No,
I knew you were gonna say it.
It
I
really
knew you were gonna
does.
say it.
It really does, though.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Am I wrong?
No, yes, you're wrong. You are wrong.
It looks like a Ben Simmons stat line. I'm sorry.
By the way, it can look like a Ben Simmons stat line, and if that is a Ben Simmons stat line, that's a good stat line. I don't care who does it. It's a great stat line. You're accounting for over 40 points of your for your team.
And you know, Harden's gonna have games like that where the shots aren't falling. So, you know, it's that next man up mentality, and that's what especially Joel Embiid did tonight. 43
Yeah.
points.
Yeah, and that's what Maxey did in the fourth quarter tonight. What was it, 13 fourth quarter points for Maxey? Unbelievable. And I think after he had that unbelievable N1 shot with, 6 minutes left, he was only at 6 points. So he scored 11 points in the last 6 minutes of the game. It's a closer right there. And you win by 15. Closer. And Evan and I were begging from the hilltops not to trade him last year when everybody was saying trade him. So,
I was
Yeah.
on
Young
high on
Bucks,
him, too.
Young Bucks, right again.
Yep.
The boys are back.
It's funny.
in town.
Every time I see Maxey, he's always smiling. Like it looks like he's
Yeah.
always enjoying out there. You know what I mean? He's always smiling.
I'll never forget our podcast we had. It's all actually on our Instagram still. Is when we did the Zoom. It may have been like almost a year ago or 2 years ago or something like that. But it was Jimmy saying Tyrese Maxey, he's ready for playoff basketball.
I
I'm like,
told you.
yeah, I think he is. And then he was. This is when Jimmy was the Ben sexual, and I was saying, oh, okay, so Ben Simmons can score 1 point in a playoff game. You're perfectly fine with it, perfectly fine. But no, that was some good banter between that. But
I'm perfectly fine if we win games. Ben
yeah,
Simmons can average 2 points in the playoffs and win us a ring, and I'd be totally fine. I wouldn't bat an eye at it. But no need to worry about that anymore because Ben Simmons will never play a regular season game in the Wells Fargo Center ever again.
The weight is off our chest. That's all I got to say. It's about time.
So allegedly, Kate Scott said, "Let's have a cup of Joe" today. Was that after an Isaiah Joe
Joe
3?
3.
Wow.
She says the cringiest things in the world. I can't listen to it.
Oh
Dude
my
went 1
God.
for 4 from 3 tonight. Was she waiting for that all game?
She probably was, yeah.
Probably. There was one time where, you know how like if the other team misses 2 free throws, it's a free frosty.
Yeah.
I think it was DeRozan at the line. He missed the first one, and then she's like, I need everybody. If you're watching this live
Yeah,
stream
if you're
on
watching at
TV,
home.
to scream. And then he makes it. He's like, I blame you, Allah. You weren't screaming. I'm like, that's so. Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh.
She's like the mom, like when you're around like good looking girls, and then you just have your mom just say something just absolutely embarrassing.
Exactly.
You're just like, what the
Like,
fuck?
what are you talking about?
Damn.
What?
We do not mean this to be a Kate Scott slander podcast.
No,
It's just
not
kind
at
of
all.
happening now.
No, it just has to.
And
He
then
probably knows a lot more about
Troy
basketball
comes
than
in
I
with the
do,
coldest
but-
take of all time, saying Tom McGinnis is meh. That's a violation. That's loser of the week quality for me, Troy. Loser of the weekend.
Crumb of the life. Crumb of the-
Bill, the Celtic fan, but also an Eagle fan, never understood that. But Bill
What?
says, please get Brooklyn in the first round. That
Some
would
people
make
green.
great for ratings. Imagine Ben moving on and Sixers getting bounced. You'd never hear the end of it. Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to face them eventually, right? Unless we don't have to. But most likely we're going to have to face Brooklyn. So why not get them in the first round?
I wouldn't mind it. Definitely getting a test. If you know they might be in the play-in, I think they're a top 10 team. I mean, their standings don't really show it, but overall, they get their shit together, they'll get rolling eventually. I think
It'll be nice because we'll get Brooklyn, and then the Celtics will get to play the Cavs and lose.
I've been looking at the
Basically,
Nets, dude. Patty Mills has been going good, man.
Well,
He's,
that's another thing when it comes to the poll of the night, and that's will the bench cost us a playoff series? Greg obviously will agree to the poll. Mr. Negadelphia himself says the bench and playoff James is going to haunt us. But when it comes to the Nets bench, after that trade, they got a whole lot better. They got Goran I can't say his name. Dragic coming off the bench.
Yep.
Yeah. Dragic coming off the bench. They got Patty Mills coming off the bench. They still got Blake Griffin. They got Claxton, Speedy Claxton.
Yep.
They got a solid bench.
I mean, they can have a deep team like that, but what is it going to do when, like, it only does so much because you only have 5 of those players playing.
I mean,
at one time.
If Ben goes back to his normal ways, you know Steve Nash is going to bench him for Dragic because Dragic and Steve Nash are boys. I mean, that lineup.
I ain't scared. We played Dragic. We fucked him up when he played for the Heat.
I mean, it will be interesting to see because when it comes to the Nets and their lineup, I mean, you got Ben, obviously, Kyrie. You're only going to have Kyrie half the games. But let's say you're playing the Nets at home. So Nets at the Wells Fargo. You're going to have Kyrie, Seth, KD, Ben, and Drummond. But there's only so much floor separation that you can have when it comes to Drummond and Ben. But then when you think about the other guys that they have in their lineup, they're going to have a lot of small ball when it comes to Kyrie, Seth, Dragic, Patty Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they going to be able to compete with Matisse on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to Joe on the offensive side of the ball? Like, who's going to be guarding Joel Embiid when you need to get Drummond off the floor?
Nobody.
I feel like that's going to be a good matchup, especially since Kyrie's only playing half the games. And you know what happens to Ben Simmons in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to that, I think I'd rather play the Nets than the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Nets, the only problem with them, they have the talent, but I think they have too many players that are ball dominant. Like, who are you going to give the ball to at the end of the game? And especially if Kyrie's on the floor with KD. You know, I'm not saying they're not a good mesh, but those two guys are first option players.
Yeah.
And I think that's prone to haunt them, to be honest with you. I mean, that's just a feeling I feel. But I'm going to probably disagree with you, Evan, about the bench situation. I think that the bench would actually make them a lot better team, because if someone's off, you know, you have – what is Patty? Is Patty Mills starting, or is he coming off the bench?
At the moment, I think he is, for home games at least.
You have a potential starter in Dragic. You have Blake Griffin, who's still on his shit a little bit. You have all these other players that can really step in. Is Joe Harris – I'm sorry, is Joe Harris still playing, or is he
He's coming back. Yeah, he was hurt. He's coming back. Yep.
and he's
Did he tear his ACL? I don't know if he's coming back or not.
No.
He didn't tear his ACL?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that.
So.
No.
Well, Joe Harris used to be a three-point contest winner. So if he even comes back before the playoffs, I think that's a problem for a lot of teams. Their bench is scary, I think. And if someone's off, they can just rotate that guy in. That's the difference between the Sixers and the Nets. Sixers, their bench is not good at all.
I was actually wrong. Sorry. Joe Harris has ankle-ending surgery. Season-ending ankle surgery. I thought he had just came back, didn't he? From something. I thought he literally just came back. Then he got hurt again. That sucks for him. But I'm going to be like Drake.
Oh, well.
I'm going to be like Drake. I'm going to be like. I fucking hate
You're gonna be like Calvin Ridley when he loses his parlay.
Oh
Calvin
God.
Ridley when he loses his $1,500 parlay.
Oh
He's sitting
my
at home
God.
with his mental issues.
Yeah, I hope he comes back though. Hopefully, he's a good player. I'd definitely pick him up if I was the Eagles. It's a second receiver.
We don't pick up bad players. They're bad for their locker room.
Yeah.
But I mean, the anonymous source that was in our locker room 2 years ago has just miraculously disappeared.
Oh, we all know who that anonymous
Mr.
source
Wentz
was.
is on his way to the Canadian Football League.
Could we go one episode without
How
bringing
the
up Carson
tables
Wentz?
have turned. How the
He'll be back.
tables have turned.
He'll be back.
No, let's
A lot of
keep
stuff
talking
has
about
happened.
this.
A lot.
He'll be back.
Hopefully.
Back to
Speaking of
what?
Evan
No
hate.
exceptions.
Evan will be the loudest person booing Simmons on Thursday night. Years worth of pent up frustration. What's up, Bryce? Troy's just trolling at this point.
I think my cousin came in here, Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny asked you about
What do you say?
McConnell, the McConnell reunion.
We're all McConnell lovers in here. Yep,
I would love TJ McConnell. I have a jersey of TJ McConnell.
me too.
Evan has a picture with TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
Evan, don't you have a picture with Maxie too?
Yeah.
My mom was showing me the other day. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
I'm meeting all these guys. I'm meeting all these guys. Oh.
Bryce, come playoff time, that zone is not going to work against James Harden. I mean, you guys got the bench on us, so I think to be honest, I think I'd rather play the Nets than the Heat, just because of how deep the Heat are. At any given moment, they have 4 to 5 guys in that rotation that could just put up 6 threes on your face with no remorse. When it comes to Duncan, Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, Strus, like you got all those guys that just shoot daggers, you know. So But we have yet to see the Sixers play the Heat and that defense with a legitimate guard. So we'll see what can happen. But we can't really do any talking now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think if we had Harden, I think we beat them by at least 10 to 15, probably.
Yeah.
It would be a back and forth game, but it wouldn't be a blowout.
Am I the only one that thinks Bam Adebayo is just so goddamn overrated? Like, it's weird because he has the same like play style as like he has the same frame as Jason Tatum. It's so weird, but he like can't shoot. He literally goes in when Embiid's tired or like I don't know. Like he's just a quick center. I don't even know who to compare him to. He's kind of like the guy from Cleveland.
Yeah, I hear you. He's kind of like he's like a large four man.
Yeah, he's like Harris, but like
more athletic.
Than Harris.
He's Harris, but he's more athletic.
Yeah.
So
I don't hate.
I think he's going to get exposed when Embiid has Harden with him. Going to get absolutely exposed.
I remember years ago, Heat fans were trying to tell me that Bam was better than Embiid. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's bad.
We'll just wait.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Scrolling through Instagram posts.
Stop you.
Oh, that's where a few years ago. That's when I stopped paying attention to Instagram.
Yeah,
I couldn't take it anymore. I think Evan was the sole reason why I stopped doing Instagram because of just the troll job he would do on Carson Wentz when Carson Wentz was still good.
Yo, he might be heading to Jacksonville. Did you guys hear about that?
Really?
Or not Jacksonville. I'm sorry, Tampa.
Oh,
Tampa.
Tampa's Tampa. Let's give him those weapons, dude.
If he goes to Tampa and
he should go play for the Packers,
dude.
We'll send him up north.
The Packers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers ain't leaving. They're gonna
say Packers, and then Devontae's gonna be gone, and then he's gonna have nobody.
I know. Exactly.
And then it's gonna be the same situation. We're gonna hate on him for no reason because he has no weapons.
Or because he just lost against Jacksonville and didn't make the playoffs.
Oh my god!
Because
I gotta side with Jimmy though.
Clutch genetics.
Who does he have? What wide receivers does he have on Indianapolis that is like
good,
comparable or not comparable to like a decent receiver?
To what the elite quarterbacks have in the league.
Pittman
is not what the
elite
quarterbacks have in the league.
All right, what does Jalen Hurts have? That's
Jalen Hurts sucks.
Comparable to
what?
quarterbacks in the league.
Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins are open every single time. Every single play.
Pittman's better than Devontae Smith?
Hurts can't throw the ball down the field. He can only go 30 yards. He cannot throw the ball for his
Pittman is better than Devontae Smith. What?
They're pretty even. They're not. He's not.
They're two different types of players.
Pittman is a number 2 wide receiver at best on a good team. Like Pittman would be a great number 2 on the Eagles right now. And then you put Quez in the slot.
Yeah.
But Devontae Smith is different. What do you stop? Now you're Carson haters.
Now you're bleeding green right now.
I'm not bleeding green.
You're bleeding green.
Devontae Smith damn near put up a 1,000-yard season with a quarterback that couldn't throw the ball.
And a lot of the times he was open, Hurts wasn't looking his way. There are so many videos where he was wide open. So many. Not trying to down Hurts or anything. He needs to get his arm stronger this offseason. His running's great. All that's great. I'm fine with it. He needs to be accurate.
He shouldn't be a starting quarterback this season.
We need that quarterback that can throw the ball down the field and get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? He's just
we just gotta get. It's his last year right now. This is his last year. If he doesn't do it,
all right, book it. We will be 7-10 or 8-9 this year if he is the starting quarterback, and maybe we'll get the 7th seed and we'll get absolutely boned by whoever the 2 seed is. Book it.
No, he's done then. It's obvious he's done then.
Book it.
Russell Wilson to Philly would love it.
No way.
Speaking of booking,
did you see what the Commanders try to give them, or the
for who?
Deadskins? It was like 3 first-round picks or something like that.
For who?
For Russ. And they said
Seahawks
no.
said no.
Yeah.
Or did Russ put his no trade clause up because he didn't want to play for that putrid franchise?
Maybe that could have been it too. But 3,
I don't know.
I'm not giving up, dude. I'm only giving up 1. I'll give up one, a first, a second, a third, and maybe and maybe Hurts.
Yeah. Speaking of booking it, BetUS, a leading online sports book. They have been in the market for over 25 years now. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. So you could put that bet down that Carson Wentz will win MVP next season. I bet you the odds are a long shot, but if you do it right now with BetUS, you're going to make a lot of money come next year. So use the link down below, and when you use this link, you get a 125% sign up bonus. So make sure you check that out. Also on BetUS, I would check those odds for the Sixers right now for finals winner. We could bitch and moan about the bench all we want. At the end of the day, if Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and James Harden are going to combine for 75 plus points a night, you could book that the Sixers are going to make it to the NBA Finals. And once you do that, once the Sixers make the NBA Finals, the Suns aren't beating them. And who on the Warriors is going to guard Joel Embiid? That's what you got to think about. So make sure you check BetUS out right now. Check those Sixers title odds and book it,
Yeah.
No,
Now, I kind of want to talk about around the league. What are we thinking? I kind of want to look forward. I know that's so many things had to happen, but who's your ideal team to play in the Western Conference? Obviously, with CP3 going out, don't know when he's coming back. He might not come back. They didn't look too bad against the Bucks yesterday at all. And who do you guys think's the favorite? I mean, you have Curry.
The favorite in the West?
Yeah.
I would have to say the Warriors for the sole fact that they have all those vets. They got that big three and Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
Back soon, I think.
Who?
Draymond.
Oh, yeah, Draymond. And then obviously they got Wiggins. And you want to talk about a bench, they got guys left and right that could just come in and score.
Yeah.
So I think with the combination of the playoff experience, those three guys have been to absolute wars. You throw in Kevon Looney in it too.
Yeah.
He's been around for a little bit with them as well. He's been to finals appearances year in and year out with that squad, with the Splash Brothers, with Draymond. I think once they're all healthy, the Suns aren't going to be able to keep up with them. I mean, you got the outliers in the West as well. If Luka can catch fire and maybe carry them, I think Mavericks maybe. You got the Jazz because the Jazz have two starting fives. But at the end of the day,
I think the top three teams, in my opinion, that are an actual threat in the West is I'd probably just say the Suns, the Warriors, and the Jazz. I mean, everybody else, the Nuggets, Grizzlies.
they're not gonna. Nah, I don't see.
No. John Morant
They're
has
one-man team. They're a one-man team
in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean they're young. I think the Grizzlies are comparable to what the Suns were last year. But you got the Warriors that are healthy now. You still have the Suns. So I just don't think the Grizzlies are going to be able to do it. Maybe 2 years from now when Ja's even more older and they continue to develop with Bane and Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams. I mean, we'll see what happens then. But I don't think the Grizzlies are going to be able to.
I'm going to go back to your question, though. Like, on the favorite of the West, I'm going to have to go with the Suns. This is only because, they're 51-13 right now, first in the West. Losing to Giannis last year in the finals. I think they're out for blood. And I think Devin Booker has a chip on his shoulder right now. I don't see them as talented as Golden State. As you stated, I totally agree with their bench. Golden State's bench is out of this world, especially with Klay Thompson coming back. He didn't even skip a beat. He came back and was firing and firing. And he's back in the game shape. But back to the Suns, I think the Suns are definitely the favorites for me coming out of the West. Ayton, Booker, CP3 with his injury and everything, but no, I think Phoenix. I think they're a very crazy threat. I think it goes Phoenix and Golden State in the conference finals, and Yeah, it's up for grabs though. It can go either way, but
Yep.
I have to go with Phoenix there. They're
Yeah, I mean it's a good point. It's hard to argue against it just because they were there last year. They haven't skipped a beat this year, but the only reason why I'm going to oppose it is because the Warriors are back and healthy. And even when they weren't healthy last year, Steph still had them, keep dragging them
Yeah.
on his shoulders.
literally
They made it. They made it out of the. Did they make it out of the play-in tournament last year?
no, I don't
No,
think
they
so.
didn't. They lost in the play-in tournament,
Yeah.
and it was a good game too. I think they lost
Was
to
it
the
against
Lakers.
the Lakers?
Yeah, I think they did
Yeah.
lose to the Lakers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Steph
then-
was literally dragging that team. He was averaging like 40.
Yeah.
Like, he was going off. It
And
was-
then the Grizzlies ended up playing the Warriors for that
The
8th
Warriors.
seed, and the Grizzlies ended up winning. So, I don't know. Speaking of just the Lakers, wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Yeah.
They are putrid.
A
Sorry,
Disney
Ralph.
and Lemicki.
Yeah, that is one of just for the sole fact that they haven't done a damn thing since that Mickey Mouse ring. That just goes to show how fake that season was.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: I see videos of them talking back to fans, their own fans in their own stadium. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, they don't
shut
care,
up,
dude.
like this
You
and
know,
that. It's just bad
it's-
vibes, man. You know, Westbrook and
LeBron's
LeBron are
fault.
not on the same page. They're not on the
This
same
is-
page.
This is LeBron's fault. He's playing too much GM. He's not worried about himself. Can't stay healthy. I know he's 37 years old, but you go be a GM if you want to be a GM, because you can't play only 15 games a year and average like
Well,
30 and then go and say, "Oh, I'm so great."
yeah.
Make
Well,
the playoffs first. You
Yeah.
could have had Lowry and you could have had DeRozan,
I know
but you
his
got rough.
two days ago he dropped I think 57 points against
Yeah.
I forget
Golden
who they
State.
played.
The
I think
Warriors.
wasn't it Golden State? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. But today he was out because of extreme soreness on his I think I forget what ESPN said, but it was extreme soreness on whatever it was on his leg. And I'm like, dude, you guys are fighting for a playoff spot right now. You can put up 56 points all you want, but you need to play.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you single-handedly destroyed this franchise, and now you're going to sit out after a 56-point performance because of extreme soreness.
Dude, he has fucked the Lakers over for the next 8 years. For the next 8 years. They don't have a draft pick until like 2029 or some shit like that. That's disgusting. I don't know why or how they just let LeBron come in and play GM. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the draft picks in 2027, 2028. He's not going to be there. He only cares about where his son's going to go, and then he's going to pull the same exact thing there. I hope he goes. I hope like the Pistons trade or try to get Bronny or something, because I don't know. That would just be
Ending
hilarious.
your season in Detroit.
Bronny, Cade, and
Orlando.
LeBron.
Yeah,
That-
deadly.
Don would love that.
Yeah,
The thing with LeBron is he plays too much hero ball, and I'm not one to really compare him to Jordan. I was in the past, but LeBron's really disappointed me the past couple of seasons, and he's playing too much hero ball. It's too much pointing fingers, and as you said, Evan, it's the GM. It's acting like you're the owner of the team.
Yeah.
And I remember they during the All-Star break, they asked some questions about when Bronny joins the league. You're gonna whatever team he gets drafted to, you're gonna retire. And I remember he just got so defended by that and just was denying it. And he just needs to stay away from that stuff. And
yeah,
he gets in his head too much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
It's no help when Westbrook isn't even producing. It's not really all LeBron's fault. Anthony Davis is. He's,
injuries.
Injuries.
Look, I've always been a huge Westbrook fan. I mean, he's obviously not producing points wise. He's only averaging, I think, 19,
yeah,
but he's still putting up 19, 7, and 7. I just think it's a horrible fit.
yeah.
I think that's rests solely on LeBron James trying to play hero in the general management standpoint.
I
Like,
just
in what
think
universe did you think that you, Westbrook, and AD were going to be able to play together?
yeah.
There's no
You don't
spacing
you don't
whatsoever.
have a shooter. You don't have a
No.
shooter.
No, you don't. You don't.
That's why Malik Monk is thriving, because they have nobody else that can shoot the ball. So he's
Mhm.
just sitting there in the shooter position.
Yep.
And Malik Monk isn't good at basketball. That's
No.
why you're 10th or 9th place in the West right now.
Yeah, and that's why you're losing against the Spurs right now after beating probably one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah. John says that Dallas has been playing better with the addition of Spencer Dinwiddie. Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie was a guy that I really wanted coming off our bench, but beggars can't be choosers. I know.
Furkan
is-
Korkmaz will go crazy on the Lakers.
I could see him getting a couple minutes there. Definitely get more minutes than our team, but
Yeah,
he's just
bad.
so bad, man. Like he has his times. Remember, I think it was a couple seasons ago. He had that game winner against the Portland Trailblazers. It was in Portland.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Korkmaz, like he's amazing. He's this and that.
second game of the season, I think last year.
Yeah, he's literally. I could tell when a player is like getting lucky compared to actually good. Like he can hit a couple of threes. Don't give me that. But he's just not consistent. He's not consistent, and it's finally showing. You know, he's got competition. He's got Yang coming to get his minutes, and Yang's making the most of it. He's making all of it, man.
Yeah.
He's getting all of his minutes.
Who's KZ1 talking about? 1977.
I think he's just an avid LeBron defender. He probably thinks that LeBron is better than Jordan. Or he's just the Westbrook hater. Either or. The comment are you talking about? He's commented a lot.
8 turnovers.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he's
they got
definitely
Carmelo Anthony leading the scoring for the Lakers right now. So I just think that was just like this would have been a great team like 7 years ago, like 10 years ago. Like I don't know what they were thinking about bringing like the banana boat together and thinking they have something. But whatever you do, if there's any NBA people watching this, don't hire LeBron as your GM. Don't do it.
And that brings me to my next question. Bill brings it up. Next season, when you get rid of that third max player in Tobias, don't be surprised if LeBron doesn't come sniffing around Philly to play with Embiid and Harden.
No,
I don't want it. I do not want LeBron James coming.
He's gonna be taking shots. No.
He will trade Tyrese Maxey for something. He will trade this guy for something. He will solely ruin what we built in the process.
Just for the sole fact that he wants to be better than Jordan. He can't. He can't.
Oh, he can't. He can't already. Out of all the teams that
he's
he's
trying
joined,
to save his own legacy by trading away.
I have a question. You guys,
Sold.
all right? Say we're able to keep Maxey, Harden, and Embiid, and we trade the majority of our bench for LeBron and a couple picks. You wouldn't mind having him at the small forward spot, filling Tobias?
I would rather have.
I'd probably have him playing 4.
Probably have to, because
Yeah.
if you start Thibault, then you definitely play the 4.
I'd rather have somebody else.
Personally, wouldn't
I'd rather
mind
have
it.
Bradley Beal. Straight up,
yeah.
I'd rather have Bradley Beal. I'd rather
Yeah.
have. I mean, we could look at the free agents right now, but there's probably 10 other guys that I want a free agency right now with LeBron. Because
I'll
just
take
for the
Christian
sole
Wood.
fact of what LeBron James has done to franchises, and then just left them.
Yep.
And I don't think Bronny's going to be a good basketball player, so I wouldn't want Bronny either.
No. Yeah, no. He's going to be picked in the top 5, and he's a second-round pick. Just because his daddy's good at playing basketball, no. Absolutely not.
All right, so you got
LeBron defender.
I mean, you got Kyrie. So Kyrie's on a player option. Westbrook is on a player option, so he'll stay. John Wall's on a player option. He'll stay. Harden's on a player option. He'll stay with us. And Beal's on a player option. He'll probably stay and re-sign to that Supermax. So I'd rather have Zach Levine over LeBron. I would rather have.
Do you think Zach Levine leaves if they get bumped out the first round?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. What they
I
have
think
going
that
on with
happens,
DeRozan-
and then AD
Goes to Chicago.
goes to Chicago.
So that would have to be a sign and trade because AD will not be a
Ooh, what if they just?
free agent.
What if I don't think it would work? I think they'd have to give up more, but the Lakers would. But sign and trade for what AD and just straight up flip flop
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, yeah,
Levine.
I could see that potentially happening, but
Well, here's another thing, guys. We can. Well, you can't even guarantee Harris leaving because you're gonna have to trade him for another contract.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to trade him with a guy that has either a player option or B is gonna be a sign and trade.
Yep. And it really all depends on how much money you have.
right.
If Harden takes this deal or if he restructures a contract and makes it more team friendly, it really depends on what he does. I know he was talking about that he is going to accept it, but after this season, if he sees that he can work well with Embiid, Maxey, and all these other young dudes, he'll say maybe I'll take less money, and we can go and take a shot for someone like Beal, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how that restructuring works though, and I don't think Beal's leaving that supermax contract.
Yeah, no.
Would you guys be interested in Colin Sexton possibly coming off the bench for us next year? Just that next guard. I know it's a stretch, but I always liked him as a player. I thought he brings good energy.
If the money was right, I think I would, just
Yeah.
because like
I mean, yeah, I'd take him right now coming off the bench,
I definitely
yeah,
would. I
filling
just
that
have to
Shake
win the
Milton
team
role.
asset.
I'll take TJ McConnell coming off our bench.
I would, dude. I was thinking about it a few nights ago. I think while I was watching the Heat game, I would take TJ McConnell right now.
Yeah,
I would give them Furkan. I would give them Shake. I would give them Isaiah Joe. I would give them the entire Delaware Blue Coats franchise.
Jaden Springer.
Jaden Springer. Where has he
What
been?
happened to him?
Why isn't he playing? Just play him.
Peanut allergy?
I don't know. He's a young kid. What is he, 20 years old, I think?
He's
19, 20. So, I mean, we could give him some time to develop.
Yeah.
See where that goes with that. I think I was checking his stats. He scored once this year. Nothing crazy, but
I have.
Do you think Robert Covington will have a better fit on the Sixers right now than Tobias Harris?
No, because Robert Covington stinks.
He's not the same player he was like 5 years ago.
Defensively, he stinks up defense too. He the fakest what was it, first team? Did he get first team or was it second team defensive?
Last year?
Second team.
Was it second team with
positive.
us?
I think it was second team.
It
Yeah.
was the fakest NBA award I've ever seen in my entire life. More faker than all the defensive player of the years that Rudy Gobert's gotten. It's unbelievable how bad Robert Covington is at basketball.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you guys
what has he done in Portland? Really?
Yeah.
Besides
The
stink.
Clipper now, right?
And what has he done in LA?
No, nothing. I was just saying. But what has Tobias Harris done in Philly? What has he done in LA? What has he done in Detroit?
I mean, Tobias Harris at least has a pulse. At least he tries. At least he gives a valiant effort.
He can't deal with the fans though, because remember that one time he was he's like, don't clap.
No one's clapping for you, Harris. You can't score.
Like if I was a player and I was playing for Philly, I would understand if they were booing me or not clapping. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you gotta be built for it. And the stuff that and you gotta see his press conferences too. He says the same stuff over and over and over and over. It's the same stuff. Like I watch it all the time, and it's not. He's not impressing me. He's gotta show me something. He's got to show me something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's getting up in age too.
Yep. Yes,
I wish we had some music, a little drum roll. But become an A2D member today. We just had one join. Actually, we have a seasoned vet just renew his membership. So obviously something's working in the memberships. $9.99 a month. Perks include appearances on the shows whenever you want. Members only streams, shout outs, and of course you get your weekly sports picks from Nate Moss of the Money Pot Podcast and Willie Vegas from the flagship Agree to Disagree. You can catch both of those shows Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon/evening. Molly Mall, appreciate you, brother, renewing that membership.
Maybe you should renew your NFL team.
Yeah.
And
Pro-
your Washington Wizards too.
Yeah, you both. We'll take you with
Right,
open
though.
arms.
Yeah. I think he is maybe one of the only Cowboy fans I could deal with.
Yep.
I also think he is the sole reason why I hate Giants fans now more than I hate Cowboy fans. Just for the sole fact that Molly Mall is cool. I mean, yeah, we troll each other every once in a while. It never gets personal. But when it comes to Giants fans, it gets personal. I don't know why. I mean, I
It's
never
just
start
because
that.
we live with them, amongst them.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot more than Dallas, I want to say.
yeah,
There's animals.
yeah. But Molly Mall, of course. If anybody else, check out that membership. We got tons of perks with it. Jersey giveaways. So
Come on the show with us. Come on
Yep.
the show with us. Talk some shit. Talk your shit.
how can I hate Shake Milton?
You must be one of them Fortnite trolls.
I am a Fortnite gamer. How can I hate Shake Milton?
What?
Dude, is this your burner? This is Shake's burner.
This has to be Shake's burner, bro. He's off the game right now. He just
Yeah.
in the locker room looking at it.
Shit.
How can you hate Shake?
You know what?
Jimmy,
I'm
do you
not-
actually play Fortnite?
I do.
Nuh-uh, really?
Yeah.
Hey,
avid
dude, I still
Fortnite
play
gamer.
too.
I
I play once in a while.
I saw that in your bio. I thought you were trolling.
I swear to God, I'm a Fortnite gamer.
Dude, I don't blame you. One
Yeah,
bit.
I'm hopping on in about 40 minutes, I think.
Wow.
Yo, trying to run
Wow.
trios?
Yeah, let's
Trios?
go. I mean, guys, also check out the A2D Twitch. I mean, we got Ritz streaming up
We got
Fortnite.
to jump on that because
Yeah, we
I'm a
do.
Rocket League. I know Jimmy's a Rocket Leaguer too.
I am a
Dude,
I'm
Rocket
up in
League.
Champ 1 right now, so
I'm
Dude,
stuck at Diamond 3, dude. I can't get past it.
I stopped after I had to take a little bit of a detox after the summer because it was just getting a little bit too much for me. I get a little angry sometimes. But
yeah.
when it comes to that, I think I would be golden when it comes to streaming because I don't mean to pat myself on the back, but it would be much watched television.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah,
like Ralphie watching a
I
Lakers
agree.
game. Must watch television right there.
Dude, I think I'd be a pretty good streamer, but everything would be broken. Because when I lose, I rage.
Bad.
Like I had
My
these
mom-
$5
yeah.
headphones from like Walmart or whatever, and I just absolutely just slammed them on the ground. A million pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
My mom's probably watching. That's what it was. There you go.
Oh man.
I'm revealing it. But
All right.
Fortnite goons. These Fortnite goons.
All right.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Guys, Flight Zone. We got a bunch of great people that support this show. Gleason's Bar, located in Levittown, Pennsylvania, 6700 Mill Creek Ave. Bar is always a great hangout, no matter what day of the week it is. Find your people in there. Whenever you go, use that promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or order online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com. Check them out in Levittown. Also, check out our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. He's our doc. Make him yours. Yep. All right. So let's get a little bit back to the Sixers talk. I mean, we were just talking about free agents a little bit. Let's talk about maybe first round matchups, because I know it's kind of been mentioned, and will the Nets be in that 8th seed, 7th seed talk? I don't think it's even going to be that conversation in 3 weeks from now. I think the Nets are going to go in a little run now that they're starting to get healthy. I think they'll probably get up to the 6th or 5th seed. I mean, when you look at the standings right now, real quick, I think they're maybe 3 games out of that 6th seed. So that's an easy catch right there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when it comes to the Sixers, I think you're going to have to worry about the Hawks, which, you know, if we play the Hawks in the first round, I think that's just a fairy tale ending for us. You beat them in 5, and then you just go on a run.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the ideal vision that I see for the Sixers team.
Yeah.
And
I
You guys
honestly-
find the Hornets? Find the Hornets any threat at all or no?
I mean,
Hornets?
yeah. So right now you would have. So Washington is the 11th seed. They are a game and a half out of that 10th seed. Atlanta is the 10th seed. Right now, Brooklyn is 5.5 games out from 6th. So I think that's an easy catch. I think Brooklyn's going to avoid that play-in tournament. I just don't think KD is going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
I really think that Atlanta is going to be that 8th seed and will be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And I think that would be great television.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about must-watch TV.
Yeah, that is must-watch TV. Yeah, man. I mean, Nets in the first round, I wouldn't want that at all. But I mean, the most undesirable probably matchup we can have is playing the Nets, then playing the Heat, and then the Bucks or something like that. Would probably be the worst case scenario.
That would be bad. That would be bad.
I'm just hoping that doesn't happen. But if we can play a team like the Raptors or
Cleveland,
Atlanta, or the Hornets, like that would be a lot better. Or I don't want to end up with the Celtics in the first round or anything like that.
No.
But I think they'll be a little bit better. But
the Raptors don't scare you?
No. Unless Kawhi
They're
gets
mediocre.
Unless there was a late trade that or something that didn't. They're sending it by mail. It got caught in the snow or something. No, I'm not scared of them at all.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously don't have three big parts of that team that beat us in 2019. They don't have Lowry, they don't have Kawhi, and they don't have Marc Gasol, and they don't have Serge Ibaka.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, Washington's creeping into the playoffs. Do you guys think Washington could be a threat? Maybe if we play them.
I just think no. I think losing Beal is just the dagger in the heart for them this season.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Kyle Kuzma.
Nah,
he did dunk on Embiid, but so did John Collins. I mean, I the most favorable I'd say, like, I'll play the Celtics in the second round. I think we just have a lot of unfinished business. I think the real fairy tale ending is playing the Hawks in the first round, Boston in the second round, and then the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then going against the Warriors. I think that would just be the not the best case scenario, but it would just be beautiful. It would be poetry if we were to win.
I'm just shaky on Boston because, history down the line. We always struggle with them in the playoffs. I mean, go back to when we had Drew Holiday, Andre Iguodala. I think we played them back in 2012. That's when you had Rondo, Pierce. Who else did they had?
That was another series that Doc almost blew. That series went to 7. It was lost to the Sixers.
You almost lost the fucking Sixers
in the second round.
Yeah,
but no doubts with Doc right now. No doubts with Doc.
Not yet.
But Ev,
but he is out if we do not at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. He is out.
Oh, 100%. And Sam Cassell is your new head coach.
Yeah. Yep.
Like 10,000%.
Yep.
Would you guys blame it on the chemistry between Embiid and Harden if we don't make it to the finals at least, or would you blame it all on the coach?
We would have to see, I think.
It's up in the air.
Coach rotation and not getting a backup guard.
Yeah, that too.
Like I would blame it on first. I would blame it on not getting a backup guard because that Doc loves to throw these hockey lines out. Like everybody's saying, same thing that they said last year. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the rotation gets shorter come playoff time." Does it with Doc Rivers though? Because from what I've seen, it doesn't happen. Second, I would blame it on Doc because just way too many times has he just blown opportunities. And then third, I mean, I can't really throw it on Harden. Like, I don't even think it's in the conversation,
Yeah.
So
the only thing I ask you guys that is because we're going back 10 years. When LeBron went to Miami and they went to the finals and lost to Dirk Nowitzki, who was on the end of his prime, and all those players, a lot of people blamed it on the chemistry, and that's their first season. Like, give them another shot. I don't know how the fans are going to tolerate it if we don't make it to the finals this year. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a chemistry thing or a coach thing. It could go either way.
Mhm.
And as you see, the story goes on with Miami. They end up winning 2 championships out of it eventually.
Oh yeah.
But it looked like the chemistry wasn't there with them, but they built it over time. But I'm hoping that it's not coaching, but it's you never know with Doc Rivers in his past with those teams blowing stuff, and it's up in the air. Don't really know on Doc.
Mhm.
I don't really find him that great of a coach, but if we have the talent, then we have the talent. But
Yeah, I mean, I
yeah,
don't know. We have one legit guy coming off the bench right now, and that's
literally. Literally.
So
I mean, you could probably throw some of the blame on the GM too. I'm not saying you could have got a better deal for Harden, but losing Curry was probably the biggest blow you could have.
I mean,
I'd rather get rid of Curry than getting rid of Maxey or Thibault at the same time.
Ev, if it's not for nothing, I would have gotten any guard over signing DeAndre Jordan or Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, you definitely could have managed with a backup center. You could have managed with Frank's boy from Western Kentucky for 8 to 10 minutes in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to like we've seen that you're not going to be able to manage with these guys. Isaiah Joe is a walking 1 for 5 from 3.
Who else got bought out besides?
I mean,
like did Schroeder?
There really wasn't anybody on the buyout market this year. I mean,
there wasn't. No, there's no like eye openers or anything like that.
Like, honestly, the only option we have left right now would to be JJ Redick from ESPN.
Yeah,
that's really it.
From ESPN,
that's really it.
No, you're right. You're right.
Do you guys see a big upgrade with the centers between Drummond and DeAndre Jordan or not? Like, do you think it's a huge upgrade or just the same?
I actually think it's a downgrade. I just the most vital aspect of Drummond's game was obviously his rebounding. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds in the playoffs are gigantic. It's probably the most important.
Right.
And when you don't have Embiid on the floor, I feel like Harden and Drummond would have worked a lot better than whatever DeAndre Jordan has to offer. But I mean, I'm not going to stress it too much.
Yeah, Jim, to answer your question, I think center in the NBA is the most disposable position in sports unless you have Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic. So I think you could have any backup center out there. I'm not crying over Andre Drummond.
Like running back. It's just like running backs.
Yeah.
Like we have King Henry. That's what we got.
Yeah. I mean, I'm crying over Seth Curry every night, but I'm not crying over Andre Drummond every night because Seth Curry with this roster right now would this team book it NBA Finals.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yep.
Because if you have 2 legit shooters coming off your bench and Seth Curry and Georges Niang, then you're set, especially with the starting lineup that you have. When you have 3 guys that are scoring damn near 80 points a game together.
Mm-hmm. I just hope Matisse elevates his game too. I mean, obviously, if he was a 40% shooter, I would be.
Well, another thing we have to worry about when it comes to this bench is Tobias Harris is a walking 4 fouls a night. Georges Niang is a walking 4 fouls a night with the minutes that he gets. Matisse Thybulle is a walking 5 fouls a night.
Yeah.
Like, this team gets into a lot of foul trouble.
Stupid fouls,
and then they look at the ref like they're mind blown. Like, dude, stop smacking. It's not that hard.
Embiid during the game, he was hacking. Did you see him? He was just going like that, like every 5.
As a basketball referee, we're taught that if a guy has his hand straight up or straight out, and the offensive player draws the contact like that, it's no foul. Keep playing. But once you either A, smack, or B, put your hands down like you're flying, it's a foul every single time.
Yeah.
So just keep your hands straight up in the air. Like they teach you that when you're 3 years old. That's what they do in Philly.
Straight up.
When you're in those basketball clinics in Philly, just keep your hands straight up in the air or sideways. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there was a
And
play. There was a play with Embiid. I think he was guarding. I think it was DeMar. And I know the Kate Scott and Allah did not agree with it, but I was talking to my dad, and I'm like, he wasn't straight up. Like he went over like this. I'm
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
did they not see that?
Yeah.
I think it was in the third quarter, and Embiid was shocked. And I wasn't shocked. I was like, that's a foul.
and it doesn't help when your coach and Doc Rivers just looks mind blown at every single call. Like
Yeah.
as the coach, your body language is like that's what drives the team. If you're calm, cool, and collected like Jay Wright, your team's gonna play with professionalism. They're not gonna bitch and moan about every single call. When you're just in, it looks like he's in agony after every single whistle. And Doc Rivers, your team's gonna play with a lot less discipline, and that's why Tobias Harris gets 4 fouls a night. That's why
Yeah.
Matisse Thybulle gets 5 fouls a night because of that.
And Thibault, he hand checks a lot, man. Like I was
Yeah.
watching the beginning of the game. The defender blew right by him, which is very rare for Thibault, and you could just see his left hand in the guy's jersey, literally pulling the guy. And I'm like, Thibault, like we all know he's way better than that overall. And I was talking, I was like, he's a way better defensive player than he has been the past couple of games.
Yeah.
And I know his shot isn't the greatest, but if he can improve that, he can be a very, very big threat in the league. But he needs to get his offense better.
Yeah.
But his defense does make up for it.
And I mean, like we're throwing out a lot of excuses for Thibault. I know he is a great defender, and he probably is one of the best defenders in the league. He scored. I think he went 2 straight without scoring any points. I think that no matter how many minutes you're on the floor, I mean, if you're on the floor for 20 plus minutes and you have 0 points, there's an issue. I don't care who you are. Oh, shit. But yeah, he does what he does, and it is what it is. In the playoffs, he won't be shooting, I don't think, as much. That's going to be Harden, Embiid, Strictly, and Maxey.
Yeah.
But his defensive presence is just what makes it for him.
He did have a solid performance tonight, though.
He did.
He did. Yeah.
I think he had like 10 points. He had more points than Tobias tonight. Matisse did.
Yeah.
Before we get to weekend winners,
12. Yeah.
before we get to weekend winners, what Evan said. He said this perfect Cinderella story or storybook ending would be Hawks first round, which I think we would win in 6. Celtics second round. No, I think Celtics. They could probably give us the most trouble out of any team in the East, I think. I mean, you got Robert Williams, who you could throw at Joe, who's a great defensive player. And then you have Al Horford, who has presented issues for Joe in the past. And then, of course, you got Jason Tatum, who just dropped 54 points against the Nets. You got Jaylen Brown that can score at any spot on the floor. Marcus Smart, who's that energy guy. And then you got Derek White coming off the bench. I mean, when you play in Boston, I think that's a legit 7-game series right there.
Mm-hmm.
Should we be afraid of them?
As a Philly fan, absolutely. And I'm not saying this to down the Sixers. Boston always gives us trouble. And even if they aren't the most talented team, they're always going to come out smacking. I mean, look what they did to us in the bubble. What did they sweep us in the bubble?
Yep.
Yeah.
They swept us in the bubble. How many times have we played them in the playoffs the past? I think we played them the past 4 times. We have not beat them. We are due to beat the Boston Celtics in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be the year, this could not. It could go either way. And I do agree with you, Jimmy. It could go to Game 7. And it's up in the air with Jason Tatum. Is he gonna show his 2016 Jason Tatum dunking on LeBron, or is it
only 19?
Only 19, yeah. It's
Dude,
I fear the Boston Celtics.
I think
saying that to be.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great series if you're a pure just NBA fan.
Yeah.
But Sixers fans like us, it's obviously going to be great to watch, but it's going to be a tough one to watch, especially if it goes to 7 in the second round again. I don't think I can handle another second round Game 7 loss. I think after that I would have to retire from watching the NBA.
Yeah. You think Embiid will request a trade if that happened?
No, because I think if they were to do that, I think Embiid would say that was on me. I would have to do better. I think Embiid's a Sixer for life, dude.
I hope, man.
hope so.
He's the heart and soul.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul.
Yep.
I want to point out one thing though. Let's go back to 2015 Flyers games. Packed, right?
Yeah.
Packed.
Mm-hmm.
Every fan was at the game. Sixers, it's not sold out, but empty seats. You go back to 2022. I saw a video of the beginning of the Flyers game. I saw more empty seats than fans there.
Yeah.
You go to the Harden pregame show, first game back, more fans than the Flyers fans the whole game.
Damn, dude.
The wind is crazy right now. That scared the shit out of me. Sorry.
Times have changed, man.
Yeah,
That's all I
Jim.
gotta say.
I went to a Flyers game a few weeks ago, and it was just it was just sad to see. And it was an event night there. So like every like club rugby team in the Delaware Valley was basically at the Flyers game. And there's about 12 teams maybe.
Yeah.
So you want to times that by however many guys, like 12 by 30 or whatever. Like half of the seats were empty. And they had that many groups there. I'm like, how is that? How is this feasible?
They're giving out free tickets.
It's just unbelievable to see how bad this Flyers team is, and to think that we thought that this team was the best one. We thought Alain Vigneault was the best coach in the city.
Dude, we really did.
We have it on these airwaves saying that Alain Vigneault was the best coach in the city.
We must find that and delete that. It never happened.
Yeah, it's horrible, dude. Absolutely horrible.
Yep.
But Evan, what do you think about the Celtics before we get to weekend winners?
I think the Celtics have really picked it up, and I mean it's at one of the best times you really can. It's after the All-Star break. They didn't do too hot, but I mean it's all about when you get hot. I mean, you saw Atlanta last year. They got hot at the perfect time and they end up beating us. So yeah, we probably have the better team overall, but you can't discount Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I mean, shit, Al Horford, he's not doing terrible.
Dude, he's stepping up.
He's not doing terrible.
He's knocking down threes, grabbing his rebounds.
Yeah. I mean, they just beat the Nets. I'm not without Ben, obviously, but 56 points is a lot of points. Yeah. And I think that would be a dog fight.
Yeah. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer when it comes to this team because I know we're all super stoked. But it's just this team has hurt me so many times in the past. Mm-hmm. I can't get my hopes up.
I'm used to it.
Well, yeah, I'm used to it, but I also don't want to be that guy saying, "Oh, I don't want to get my hopes up." But I feel like there's a valid reason for the lack of depth that we have on this team. Yeah. Like I think Doc's finally starting to realize that he is maybe trying to throw in playoff rotations out there. But guess what, Doc? If your playoff rotation includes Isaiah Joe getting 11 minutes, DeAndre Jordan getting 10 minutes, I mean, that's obviously going to happen. But Shake Milton getting 14 minutes. Do we trust that?
No.
Is that gonna get us out of the second round against?
Nope. That's like when we played James Ennis because he was like the only semi-decent shooter.
Yeah.
I just hope that everyone's able to shoot in the playoffs too. Like no one's hitting slumps and like you don't have to rely on bench pieces to make shots.
But another thing is the only thing that I oppose to that is our big three that's putting up 80 points. And then the thought process of Tobias possibly being able to get us 15. And then Matisse getting us 6. That's 100 points from your starting lineup. 8 times out of 10, that'll win a playoff game, 100 points. So,
yeah.
All right. Guys, any last thoughts before we get to weekend winners on what this team is?
Nope.
I mean, just, of course, the 20 points from Harden, Embiid, and Maxey aren't going to come every night, but I think majority of the nights that we've been seeing, it's such a sight to see, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully this bench can produce a little more than they have. It's really it, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. All right, let's move on to weekend winners for tonight. Weekend winners brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off free shipping with code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. They have just a plethora of options on that website. Check them out. They got boxers, shampoo, body wash. Obviously got the lawnmower. They got the weed whacker. They got everything. So check them out. Also, the guys down in Ocean City, all campus, giving 20% off everything in the store, including hats, shirts, and the team cornhole sets to all of the A2D subscribers. So check them out. I know the weather's getting warm down here in South Jersey today. It was about 75 degrees. Absolutely beautiful day. So I know people are going to start making their way down to the shore. So check them out at Ocean City, right on the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
All right, weekend winners. Weekend winners, weekend losers. I think just
there's more. I think Jamie. I think the losers outweigh the winners this week.
Yeah. But before we get to the losers, I just want to bring up one winner, and that's the UFC as always. No matter how bad their card can be, or how good their card can be, they'll always draw in attendance. They make it into a WWE-esque type of vibe. But at the end of the day, those guys are just beating the shit out of each other, and it's real. Yeah. It's real. Mm-hmm. Covington Masvidal, great fight. And if you think it was a horrible fight,
beef was fake.
Beef was. The fight I think the beef was overblown. I think they did have beef with each other, but it was definitely overblown. The two used to be best friends.
Yeah.
Anybody that says it was a bad fight, you're a loser.
No, it was
you don't know fight. MMA. It was a great fight. Yep. Covington owned it. Masvidal almost got him in the fourth, but Covington outright winner. And Covington.
Those are two they're great marketers. Those guys right there. I mean, I watched something that Covington was talking about, and it was when he was in his career, I think a few years ago, he was like sixth in his division or something like that, and then he went against the Brazilian guy. I don't know who he went up against. But then he called like the Brazilians a bunch of animals, and then like people love to hate a player or a fighter in the UFC. That's why Conor McGregor's so successful. People are willing to pay money to watch that person lose.
Yep.
You know, that's why it's such a good business. When you have good businessmen like him, McGregor, and all these other dudes, I mean, shit.
Yeah. I think it was Dos
Dude, Jake Paul is the
everyone wants to watch Jake Paul gets his shit kicked in.
Oh, I don't want to watch him. He can. Do
I know because I know it's all fake, but there's enough people.
He's not taking my money. I promise you, he will not take my money.
I'm just gonna find a live stream online. That's streaming it. I'm not paying money to see that.
Yeah.
Stream East. We're presented by Stream East.
Oh yeah, great.
Always.
You know what? I'm not gonna even say anything. Evan, you can take the heat for that.
Yeah, I was joking. There is no affiliation. I don't know.
We obviously pay for our pay-per-views on ESPN Plus. Obviously.
I just watch YouTube highlights.
We're good children.
All the time.
We don't want Dana White coming over here and banning us for life. Do you remember when he had that press conference a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Or a few months ago? I think it was I think it was UFC. I think it was the second McGregor Poirier fight when he had that huge press conference where he was like, we will not
I know you're talking
tolerate any pirating.
Yeah.
You're going to purchase this event.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Dana.
Okay, Uncle Dana.
Yeah. So another loser that I had, just my quick loser, and then you guys can get on with yours. I think people are over defending Calvin Ridley. It's and people are trying to compare it to domestic violence issues, PED issues. I hear it, but at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with the domestic violence. The suspension has nothing to do with any other thing. Like it's a written rule for the
Yeah.
integrity of the game that you're not allowed to gamble on your sports.
Yeah.
And for the sole fact that he was doing it while he was having mental health issues and he was just going out gambling on his own
To
team.
cover up.
Yeah, and
It's just
the
makes him
three
look
of
even
us.
worse.
Well, that's the thing. The three of us don't know if he had the issues or not. But
Mhm.
when you were gambling on your team the entire season, when you weren't playing with them,
Yeah.
it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And the guys that are trying to compare this to domestic violence issues,
No.
one thing has nothing to do with the other. Like the
Mhm.
guy got what he deserved. Like I think he got. I actually think he got treated lightly for it. 1 year ban. Pete Rose is banned for life.
Yeah.
Can't get into the Hall of Fame because of
Can't
it.
get the Hall of Fame. Yep. Yep.
One of the greatest baseball players of all time.
There's guys in the Hall of Fame that have taken PEDs, which
Exactly.
is like it's all the leagues are like that. It's just craziness. But I 100% agree with you. It's a written rule. If you can't take time out of your day and your $1 million contract, your $1 million house, and look at the rules, that's on you, buddy. That's on you. Like that's nobody else's fault but your own.
And you're making millions. That's the big thing. Like a lot of these athletes are making stupid decisions. Like Henry Ruggs, for example. Dude, you're making millions and you're risking your life. And now you lost your job. Like back to Calvin Ridley, domestic violence. You're setting your family up. You're setting your parents, your family up, and you're just throwing it away.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? It's just you got to be more responsible.
Yeah, and the sports gambling with the athletes is just it's a whole like I look at it in a whole different way. Yeah, of course, domestic violence is just no bueno. You know, the drugs not good. The obviously the drunk driving not good.
No.
But when these guys are rookies on their rookie meetings, one of the first rule is do not bet on the NFL. You're not allowed to do it. I had a friend go to play D1 for football. He wasn't allowed to play fantasy football.
Wow.
Because he was afraid he would get caught. Like they're not allowed, like there's no tolerance for it. And it's because of the money. It's because of the money in the NFL. These people that invest millions upon millions of dollars, they don't want to think that this game is fixed. So sorry, Calvin.
Yeah.
I think you personally should have got more than just a year. But this is what it is.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's way too much. Like, it's just like insider trading, like I said in the group chat. Like, you can easily go and tell, yo, Matt Ryan, don't throw to this guy 2 more times. Like, who the hell would know? Who would really know? Like, if you're really that tight with that person, you could just say, oh, don't just drop it. You make me a few $1 million. But, like, supposedly there's only a few $1,000s he made. But it doesn't matter. It's a written rule. You broke the rule. Now you got to live with the consequences.
Like they have zero tolerance for it. That is the one thing in all these sports that they have zero tolerance for. It's the sports game. So yeah. What do you guys have?
Definitely agreed.
I'd say loser. Shit. Jimmy, do you have any?
Let me see. Loser. You know what? I'm gonna go with our good old pal Ben Simmons on his back issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Loser
a lot
of the
of reports have came back with Ben Simmons and his back, and he can't practice because he's not in shape yet. But then I'm also hearing mental health issues. So as an overall, I'm just gonna go with Ben Simmons in general. He's my loser. No one really knows when he's gonna be ready to play. But has he ever had back issues when he was in Philly? Like I don't remember him having back issues.
The dude is what, 25 years old, probably in the best shape of his life. How do you just get back issues? You're acting like you're a 15-year-old dude that's just
I heard something on media day he couldn't even dunk. I forget which source I heard, but he can't even dunk a basketball. What have you been doing your whole summer? Working out? I guess you just took the time off. That's my loser. That's my loser for the day. I mean,
his girlfriend.
Probably. He's Bulls living it up right now in LA. So
this was not really a big loser, but I just thought it would just come up. I'd probably have to say the Bulls just because Embiid is 11-0 against the Bulls and has yet to lose against them.
Did not
That's
know
what
that.
it
That's crazy. Damn.
This year as well, 4-0.
And
And they're on a 5-game losing streak. They're
Yeah.
free falling. You want to
They're-
talk about a
yeah.
team that I play in the playoffs? I think that very well could be a 4-0 sweep.
Also, one more. I want to add Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard and the Trailblazers for losing by damn near 50 today against the
Is he back?
Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves.
Maybe, I don't know, but just for not wanting to be traded, he's just part of it.
He wants to be the
That's-
hero.
Yep.
Okay, let him be the hero. We'll see what happens. See how far it goes.
I just hope this isn't Joel Embiid in like a couple of years.
Nah, I don't know. That's
Another guy, real quick, speaking of the Blazers, Anthony Simons. I think he is a free agent this summer. I would sign and trade him.
small forward, right?
Tobias, I think he's 2 guard or small
Yeah.
forward,
He-
either
yeah.
or. But 100% sign and trade. Fuck it.
I would love
I
that.
would sign him for a $30 million
I would
deal
love
to
it.
get rid
And
of
he's
Tobias.
not that old either. I think he's in his mid 20s.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not.
young.
Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
I
wouldn't mind
don't think Cade Cunningham's winning Rookie of the
Okay.
Year. No. I know a guy named I know a few guys named Giddy. I don't like Giddy that much, to be honest.
No.
Mobley.
He's a hate to face.
Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
Who's the other one? Barnes?
I think it's going to be between Cade, Giddy, Jason Tate.
Is Desmond Bain a rookie or no?
No.
No.
He's
Yeah, no.
second.
I
I
thought the
think
same
this
thing.
is third.
Third.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of rookies are standing out. I mean, it wasn't really that high of a
Yeah.
draft class, but
All right, boys. This is a great show. As always, brought to you by Fan Up. Best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. When there's great prizes, sign up today. Use the promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points, which is a $50 value. FanUp.app. Download it in the App Store or Google Play. All right, guys. Evan, Jimmy again. Great show. Obviously, we'll be back next week. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of Eagles as the draft quickly approaches. Hopefully, we'll be further along in the MLB bargaining agreement. I know they've already canceled the first week or two. I'm hoping that it doesn't go any past more of that because, no matter how bad the Phillies are, I love watching them. I love them being around. I feel like it's like a sense of like detox in a way.
Yeah.
So let's hope for the best with that, and maybe we can start talking baseball again. And screw the Flyers.
Yep.
hey, you guys do a tremendous job. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, Jimmy. It was great
Of
having
course.
you back. Great having
Thank
you
you.
back. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week. All right. Make sure you check out the shows as the week progresses. Have a good one.